We have tons of news stories in today's video, so as always, there's going to be timestamps in the description. I want to kick things off with FTR and Backstage Heat. I see a lot of people asking me about my opinions on this. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. There was some talk on Twitter about FTR having Backstage Heat because last year they were on the podcast with Jim Cornette, which obviously they have been very vocal about, supporting the criticisms or praise that comes from Jim Cornette. Basically what ends up happening now is Dave Meltzer was responding to a tweet, and it led to a whole bunch of other stuff. It led to a response from Dax Harwood, with him basically saying, with all due respect, F off, like in the most respectful and loving way. I mean that. When you decide to get two sides of a story, then speak on it. Thanks, dude. Well, here's the thing. I don't know the two sides of the story. There's people talking about Backstage Heat on FTR, and I just want to use this time to give you a reminder. I believe FTR is the greatest tag team of all time. You can agree, disagree. You could think it's a bold statement. You could say whatever you want. I genuinely stick by that comment. And truth be told, I feel like 2022 has been an incredible year for FTR. They are the reason why I enjoy AEW's tag team division. I feel like a lot of these matchups that exist in AEW is largely due to the fact that FTR is just that good. Now, with that being said, if there actually is Backstage Heat on FTR because they were on Cornette's podcast, and if this is a reason why some people believe they were buried by the Young Bucks, then I think there needs to be a massive change within the culture in that company. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Jim Cornette says. It doesn't matter what Dave Meltzer says. And honestly, it doesn't even matter what I say. You have to create the best product that you can. And you have to do that. And you have to analyze what is good and what is bad, not by Twitter comments, not by podcasts, not by YouTube, but by strict data, okay? FTR is the greatest tag team of all time. I'm finished with that story. I want to talk about some Backstage Heat on Stephanie McMahon. I thought this was incredibly odd. So basically, WWE hired a global sales and partnerships president, basically somebody who is going to help WWE bring in these massive deals. There was rumors months ago that Stephanie McMahon was really weak when it came to this certain area in their business. And, with them hiring Craig Stimmel, and I believe he came from Snap, aka Snapchat. But this guy is going to come in. He's going to help boost the business. He's going to report directly to Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon. And apparently there was Backstage Heat on Stephanie because she wasn't good at this certain area. I don't know. I think it's silly. I think when you're a multi-billion-dollar company, a publicly traded company, I think when you are as big as WWE, the best thing you could do is surround yourself with like-minded business people, people that will help transition your business into a phase where they can make more money. WWE continues to evolve. We've seen it with Nick Khan. When Nick Khan came into WWE, yes, people lost their jobs. Yes, there was releases. But speaking in a business sense, we saw a huge shift in WWE's business that increased. And I think, Stephanie has to play into what Stephanie's good at. Nick Khan has to play into what he's good at. Triple H has to play into what he's good at. And I think if everybody kind of owns their role, WWE is going to be successful. And WWE is successful, but they're going to be more successful. They are going to be more favored by the internet wrestling community. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep saying that. End of the day, what truly matters is that WWE, one, puts out a desirable product. I think that's incredibly important. And I think, two, they got to find ways to make money and be innovative about the ways they're making money. And WWE has jumped on a whole bunch of trends before it was cool to do so. They've shown people that you can make a lot of money from the wrestling business if you do it the right way. Whether you like the creative or not, business sense, WWE is massively successful. And it's probably going to stay that way. I don't expect it to take a turn for the worse anytime soon. Aiden English has announced that he is done wrestling. He put out a tweet last night. So he says he will no longer be taking bookings to wrestle going forward. He says he's always been most at home with a microphone in front of me and am in love with the broadcast side of the business. I'm not sure I feel I belong in the ring anymore, and this year has taught me that, but I love what I'm doing now and technically still a free agent. So if you have a company promotion that needs an entertaining and experienced voice on the mic, hit me up. All in addition to continuing to explore esports, gaming, voiceover, and content. I do all the things. Just want to put this out there. I think a lot of people are genuinely interested in Aiden English. We saw him do some great things in WWE. We saw him do some great things with Miro, aka Rusev. I think Aiden English is a hell of a talent. But I also do agree with him in the sense that he's a really good commentator. I feel like he brings a different tone, a different flow to the conversation. And at the end of the day, commentators have to do a good job of telling people what's going on in the ring. They have to explain the stories. They are one of the most important parts to a wrestling match, especially when you are watching from home on your sofa. So Aiden English retiring, yeah, it's a little bit sad. I thought he was good in the ring. I feel like there could definitely be a role for him in WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan. I think there's a lot of places where he can work and be a good wrestler. But I also think he's a really good asset to commentary and all of these things. And, WWE has the tendency to bring back talent for commentary. AEW has a tendency to bring in talent for commentary. Impact obviously was using him. So I don't think it'll be an issue for him announcing this retirement. I think he'll be still involved in the wrestling business. I look forward to seeing what happens with Aiden English, and obviously best of luck to him because he is a great talent. Guys, Karrion Kross returned to WWE, and this was obviously big. It was a massive way to end Smackdown. Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux. You guys know, before anybody was talking about it, I put out a video discussing the rumors and the opportunity for Karrion Kross to come back to WWE. It turns out that WWE pulled the trigger. Triple H is keeping the Karrion Kross that we all know and love, the one that Vince McMahon tried to pretty much bury. So what was really cool, though, is Fightful Select dropped this report, and there's been a specific pitch within creative that was made about Karrion Kross being inserted into the McIntyre-Reigns feud and being involved in a match for one of Reigns' world titles as opposed to both. It was also said the USA Network wanted a top title featured on WWE Raw more often, and because Reigns is barely seen on the show since winning the title, they've made an actual pitch for an interim championship. But we don't know if that's actually been seriously considered by WWE. So WWE could very well introduce a new championship belt here if it is, in fact, the interim championship. I know this is not a shocker. If you guys follow me, listen to me on Twitch. I do not like the idea of an interim championship in pro wrestling, MMA, boxing, or anything like that. I think interim championships take away from the product itself. Now, with that being said, there's been rumors with WWE making this massive change with creative and everything like that WWE might introduce new championship belts. And if the idea here is to set up Karrion Kross and Roman Reigns, that would be absolutely phenomenal. And I can't see a reason to be upset by that. Karrion Kross winning one of the title belts, coming to Raw, defending that title. There's a lot of people who can go for the world championship. Like, this is a whole different WWE from the Vince McMahon era. I honestly laugh because it's just shocking to me that, like, we're seeing so much change so quickly. I've never been more happy to be wrong about how long we might, actually see change. But Karrion Kross is in WWE. The interim championship thing may or may not happen. But the idea of WWE introducing new championship belts or a new look to them could very well freshen up the product and show people that it is definitely in a new era. Karrion Kross versus Roman Reigns. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes comes back at some point, so he's going to have to win a championship. Things are heating up in WWE. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below.